The American President Joe Biden has now finally announced his re-election bid. The 80-year-old sitting American president, who is already the oldest president in the history of the United States, had long signaled that he would actually announce his nomination bid for re-election for 2024. He would be 86 years old if he were to get elected and complete his second term by 2028. Now, moments ago, the Democrat leader formally announced that he will be running for the 2024 election in a campaign video. So with Biden officially entering the race, there is a possibility of a rematch with the former President Donald Trump. For months now, Biden had made it clear that he will stand for re-election, with the main question being the timing of his announcement. He had faced off against Trump back in 2020 after spending the weekend with aides at Camp David, the presidential retreat in Maryland. He has opted to launch his campaign on the 4th anniversary of his 2020 announcement. As of now, he's got no major challenges for the Democrat nomination except for a bid already launched by Robert Kennedy Jr. Recent polls, however, have suggested that his decision to run is a pretty divisive one, with both within the party and also outside of it. An NBC News poll over the weekend had found that 70% of the Americans and just over half of the Democrats believe that he should not run again. The previous polls held this year have also indicated a similar trend. A majority of people who have said that Biden should not run cited his age as a major concern. 48% of the people have said that this, of course, is a major concern. Despite these polls, Biden hopes of a re-election. And this was, of course, boosted last year when his party had performed better than expected in the midterm elections. The Republican Party, meanwhile, has reacted to Joe Biden's re-election announcement, calling him out of touch with the 2024 race. The Republican National Committee has said, and I quote, "Biden is so out of touch that after creating crisis after crisis, he thinks that he deserves another 4 years at the White House in the top job." Now, to give us more insights in terms of what this nomination bid by the sitting American president, of course, means, we're being joined in by White House commentator and U.S. political analyst Christopher Bua, who's joining us live at this moment from Washington, D.C. Mr. Bua, this, of course, was an announcement that was expected for several weeks now. Joe Biden, the sitting president of the United States of America, has now made it very clear that he will be in the running for the 2024 elections. What does it do for the 2024 elections? What sort of chances has Joe Biden got of getting re-elected?
Well, I think his chances are great. He's going to beat Trump handily again, as he did in 2020. There's a rematch. Trump is a disaster. He wants to take this country onto a very extremist, populist, some may say fascist bent, eliminating freedoms, putting guns out on the street, cutting any rules to ensure women have a safe access to health care. Right. And Joe Biden is a man of the people, and he will be fighting for the soul of America. And he believes in personal freedoms. Right. He doesn't believe in MAGA and the Trump nonsense. And right. Donald Trump, if you've ever seen the two of them together, there's no question about age. Right. Joe Biden may be 4 years older than Trump, but Trump is a disaster. He can hardly move. And I got to tell you, he's not a healthy man.
All right. You've described Joe Biden really well. You've said that he's a man of the people. But the fact is, amongst American voters, Joe Biden's popularity has steadily declined from the time that he assumed office back in January 2021. A recent Reuters polls, in fact, now suggest that his popularity has now plummeted to about 36%. A lot of people, even within the Democrat Party, do not feel convinced that Joe Biden should be running again, and that is 50% of the Democrat voters. How do you convince them?
I don't need to convince anybody. You saw Joe Biden's ad. He put it up at 6 o'clock this morning here in D.C. It is a powerful ad. He talks about his concern about where America should be headed. He's a man of the people. He's not an elitist. He's not a failed son of a millionaire. He's not indicted for crimes. He doesn't have 3 or 4 lawsuits and many, in fact, conditions against him by the courts and by the attorney generals and by the state parties, the states officials.
Right.
Joe Biden is an honest broker. He's an honest man.
All right.
He will run a fair and clean campaign, and he won't. And it will not be stolen again, as Trump said. The campaign was stolen, and he's initiated initiatives all over the country to take the win away from Joe Biden.
Right.
And let's face it, Trump is a crook.
Very interesting there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Christopher Bua, for joining us and getting us all those insights. You seem to be backing Joe Biden through and through. But
I'm backing what's good for America. I'm not a politician. But I know Donald Trump is a disaster. He's proven it for 4 years, and he will prove it again if we're not careful in this country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
WION is a wonderful station. I always appreciate being on.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Bua. Thank you for joining us and getting us all those insights. It is, of course, up to the American people. What are they thinking about who should be the right man to be leading the country when the elections happen in 2024? Will Joe Biden get another chance, or will the American voters think otherwise? That'll be something that we will be watching very closely and covering very closely on WION. But for the time being, WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.